Yo, what is good everybody? Welcome back to another video on Jujutsu Infinite, and today we're going to be creating an updated version of the macro that I created a couple of videos back, just because the devs decided to create a new, insanely powerful boss, and it's not even new, it's just a reworked version of the Finger Bear. For some reason, he is so overpowered, and a lot of people are having trouble with him. We're also going to do a Dagon Macro, just because he's a lot easier than the Finger Bear, and he actually has a lot more drops that are more useful than the Finger Bear. But before we get started, as always, if you guys have any questions or you want to leave a comment, do it down below. And while you are down there, please like, subscribe, and turn on the noties because it's all free and it helps me out a ton. Now with that being said, let's start off with a couple of things you should have before we start this macro. The first thing is Tiny Task. Once you have Tiny Task downloaded, it's going to be in my description. This is how it works. Put it on 1x speed, turn on continuous playback so it can continuously do the macro, and then put in the keybinds you want to record and use the playback feature. Now if you don't want to use those keybinds, you would just click record and then clicking play by clicking on it, and then once you created your macro, click save as your file so you could always use it at any time. Now that is Tiny Task explained. Let's move on to your builds. I recommend having a decent PvE build, and I recommend you guys being max level because that will allow you to complete your build for the most part. Innate techniques like Curse Queen, Infinity, those combinations, they're going to be really useful. Just basically any special grade. Volcano could also work. And then for the actual builds, Demonic Toby Pants and the Cloak of Inferno would be really nice. If you have the Enlightened Beast, that'll be great. I made a video on this previously on the best PvE build in my opinion, but for me, I don't really need too much damage, and you don't want too much damage against Dagon because if you do too much damage, he'll pop domain early. That's why I'm going to use Festive Hat and the Garment of Stars to get extra luck. But yeah, your build doesn't need to be insanely powerful. It just needs to be powerful for you guys to kill the boss quite quickly. Now with that being said, let's get started with the Finger Bearer raid. Okay, so we're actually going to start our macro here, and if you guys are wondering why, well, this is because my new macro will allow you to rejoin if you accidentally die. So just follow all the steps in this video, and for 95% of the entire night you sleep in AFK, it'll work and it wouldn't break. Now, there are factors outside of this that are in play. For example, your Wi-Fi not loading you in quite quickly, you disconnecting, the game not allowing you to do attacks, black flash breaking, etc. Just so many factors that you can't control, but for the most part, it will work. So now, the next thing you want to have is you want to place your Tiny Task right above your search bar. I'm going to explain this later on why that's so important, but just leave it right there. And if you're wondering how I have my Tiny Task on the screen, click preference and then have it on always on top. Once you have this set up, go ahead and start the macro and wait 5 to 10 seconds. Once you do that, click the boss you want to do. We're going to do a Finger Bear, we're going to do a Nightmare, and 195. Now if you want it to be a lot easier and you still want to have the same amount of chests, put it on easy mode. The abilities will come out a lot slower, but for me, since I can do Nightmare, I'm going to do Nightmare. Let's go ahead and click play, and let's wait 5 to 10 seconds after we load into the lobby. But once you're in, go ahead and use your mode if you have Demon Vessel switch and do /buffs. But if you don't want to do that, you can put it in manually. Just search up damage for the damage cords. You can search up focus for the focus cords and focus vials. And you could even search up Withering Beckoning Cats for extra luck. But I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to pop mode and the buffs. The first way of doing this is having Hollow Purple. So I'm going to do that first. And then I'm going to do another method if you guys don't have Hollow Purple. So I'm going to walk up. I'm going to use Hollow Purple and just aim straight. Because usually he's going to be right in front of you. The Hollow Purple will still hit just because it has a huge AoE. And then once it does, go down, use your abilities, just start spamming Reversal Red, and then let's use a Rib Breaker, and then Black Flash, and he should be dead just like that. Now, once he is dead, do not click on your screen. Do not click on your screen, all right? Keep that in mind. Just use abilities that are in your inventory, all right? Do it for a couple more seconds to make sure he is dead in every single run, and then go up right below the Tiny Task where the search bar would be in the actual boss queue lobby, and just start clicking on the search bar and putting in random symbols. Random symbols like colons, periods, anything like that. Just put it into the search bar, because what this is that if you die against the boss, you'll go ahead and return back to the boss queue lobby, and if you're opening chests, the flip all button actually aligns with everybody's lobbies. So if you die and you click on flip all, you'll join somebody else's lobby and you wouldn't be able to continue macroing. That's why we're clicking on the search bar and putting in random symbols. Now you want to do this for around 20 seconds to make sure that you're fully loaded into the boss queue if you do die. But then once you're done with there, go ahead and collect your chest. Now do this for a couple more seconds to make sure you have collected all the chests. And then once you do that, click replay. Do not click teleport back. Teleport back will teleport you back to the Zen Forest. And if you click replay, it's going to be a lot more efficient. So after you load in, wait 5 to 10 seconds and then end your macro. Alright, so now let's do the alternative for those who don't have Hollow Purple. We're gonna do /buffs, pop mode, wait for those to come in, and now we're gonna walk up to the boss and we're just basically just gonna do circles around him, but we don't want to go too close because if you get close, you're actually gonna get knocked back once he jumps up. So just do it a little far. Once he's in the air, then you could get a lot closer. But the main thing here is you just want to hold E once he drops down and teleport onto him and start using your abilities. So Reversal Red, Dismantle. Accidentally, you moved my mouse on accident. Use Black Flash, and he should be dead just like that. Keep using dashing moves, and complete the macro with what we did before this. Okay, and one last alternative for those who don't have hollow purple. If the running around thing doesn't work and it's not consistent enough, what you can do is you could summon the boss, walk back far enough so he doesn't launch you when he goes into the air, and just start jumping. Just start jumping into the air, start double jumping. His little balls won't hit you. Like, it'll hit you, but it's not very often. So yeah, you'll survive this more consistently, and then you can start placing down your abilities just like what we did the previous runs. Hopefully you can get your black flashes out, because that is what's going to do most of your damage. And just like that, it's another alternative. Now I'm going to let my macro that I actually created run, and I'm going to show you guys it being successful and the macro breaking and how it rejoins. So let me go ahead and get it started, and I'll see you guys then. Alright, so now this time I'm gonna actually break the macro. So when I die, it'll show you how the rejoining feature works. When he spawns, I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna do hollow purple. And at this point, after this, that's when I should probably die. So I'm going to take away my ability to use innate techniques right after this. There we go. All right, I took it away. I'm standing still. And let's see how long it takes for this guy to kill me. Usually it's around 20 seconds alongside with the loading time to get back into the boss lobby. So as you could see, my mouse right now is over the search bar and it's typing in random symbols. So I need to die very quickly, very soon. I think I'm going to die right now. There it is. And there should be enough leeway for me to go back into the boss queue lobby and to still be clicking on that search bar, allowing me to not click on anybody else's lobby when I am opening chests. So there it is. As you can see, we just made it in time. The macro is opening chests. I'm not joining anybody else's lobby and I'm stuck in the boss queue area, which then once the macro resets, you'll see that I'm going to be able to join back the finger bearer raid. As you can see, we made it. We're clicking on the search bar. This was my previous macro, so it's not maximized, but we're going back to the finger bearer, max level, nightmare, and here we are. So that's how the new macro works. It takes a little bit more time than the previous one, but it guarantees you guys a longer time of AFKing. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and apply what we learned in the first macro, the finger bearer raid boss, and we're going to do it for the exact same, or at least the first part, in the ocean curse. So once you start the macro, click the difficulty, click the level, and then start it up. Alright, now the middle part of this macro is going to be a little different just because the Dagon boss is going to be easier and has different mechanics, but pretty much the same thing. Pop mode, pop bust. If you want to do it manually, go to the inventory, but once you're done, go ahead and run forwards by holding S, go to the left a little bit, and you don't want to do too much damage, because if you pop him, if you make him pop domain, which is around 10k HP, that's not good. Wait for him to use his second ability, which is right here, and then use as many black flashes as you possibly can and use as much damage as you could do. Usually you should be able to kill him pretty quickly, but if you don't kill him right here, pop reversal red or use hollow purple. Now, if you don't have any of those before this, you could take it a lot slower and build up domain and then use domain expansion. But usually having hollow purple is going to be very important for this macro, at least this boss especially, because the domain can knock you around and the hollow purple could guarantee you kills. So now let me show you guys the alternative to those who don't have hollow purple. So what you want to do is you actually just don't want to pop anything. Just walk up to the boss and start spamming moves, because when you have the buff and you have mode, you do so much damage that you don't get enough time to actually get domain meter up for you guys to pop it, which that is the tactic here. We want to get domain meter. So just start M1ing, use as many moves as possible without buffs and mode. So if you're comfortable, this would be a decent time to pop domain. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pop domain expansion, and as long as he's not below 10k, he shouldn't pop his. There we go. Now we're going to start spamming our moves. We can do slash buff so we can get our mode up and start doing black flash, and black flash, reversal red, and keep attacking a little afterwards. Remember from our previous macro, do not click, just use the moves that is in your inventory. But yeah, there it is. Just pop domain. Don't use buffs at the start if you don't have hollow purple, and then finish it off how we always do. Now I'm going to go ahead and let my macro that I created earlier run and show you guys that it's not a fluke. And there we go. So that's gonna be my final AFK run. As you saw, it does work quite well. If you guys have any other macros that you want to let me know, or you have any questions on this macro of itself, please leave a comment down below. And with that being said, I'll see you guys later. Peace.